I think it started. All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the first Google Hangout, I guess, for the Gamer Den Sports Network, I guess we're going to call it. I don't know. I'm Rory Johnson, and with me is Nathan Roth. If you want to introduce yourself, Nathan.
I'm Nathan. Nice to meet you guys. First live show for us, so give us a little break.
Yeah. Basically, we're just going to go over what we're going to do for this football season. Me, Nathan, and one other guy, Clay Avila, we're going to play 10, at least 10 $120 fantasy football leagues, and we're just going to play and see how we do. And yeah, we're also going to play on FanDuel and DraftKings. I am probably going to try and chase a live final. And I have about $40,000 worth of winnings on FanDuel, but I have put in probably about $35,000. So I've only have about $5,000 profit in the last 2 years playing on FanDuel. I mean, it's not great, but I haven't lost, and I imagine a lot of people lose playing on FanDuel and DraftKings. So this year I'm probably going to try put a little bit more money into it and chase a live final because I really want to. I've finished in the top 10 twice in the last 2 years. Actually, not the last 2 years, but the last football season. And I really want to try and hit one, which would be awesome. And I think Nathan and Clay are going to get their feet wet this first year on FanDuel and DraftKings. We'll probably just play low-dollar single-entry tournaments at the beginning and see how they do, see how we do the first few weeks, and we'll see where it goes from there. But we're going to do some videos every week and try and help out our friends who watch the video. Anybody else who watches the videos, we'll try and help you guys out because I feel that me, Nathan, and Clay are above average to good, like really good fantasy football players. So thought we'd make some videos while we kind of just help us with our research as well. That way we actually have like
a little motivation to continue on.
Yeah, a little motivation and a little. Yeah, we actually have to do research. So we don't want to look like idiots talking in front of people. So got to know exactly kind of what we're talking about, right?
Yeah, I've only really played casual fantasy. I've done 6 leagues pretty much the last couple of years playing with friends. $50 for season long, $100 in one. Rory, me, and Clay all do the same. We're in the same league, big 12-man. Actually, is it 14 now?
Yeah, 14. It's our my home league at least. It's where I started playing, and gets more and more competitive each year. So it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. So I've only done a couple standard leagues, and for the past probably 6 years, I've been playing just casually, and then I jumped on FanDuel every once in a while and just messed around. Nothing serious. So, like Rory said earlier, I'm definitely going to get my feet wet.
Yep. So yeah, let's jump into this. Today we're going to do an AFC West preview. We're going to go division by division, so that way these videos aren't crazy long or anything. We're just going to go division by division. And once we wrap this up, hopefully it'll only take like 2 or 3 weeks. And then we'll start to dive into draft strategies, FanDuel DraftKings strategies, stuff like that, just to help people out, people who watch the videos. Yeah, so try and help you guys out. And if anybody has any questions, just feel free to ask. We're also going to be posting articles and stuff onto the gamerden.net website. The articles for now will just be we'll post our rankings at some point for season-long leagues, and then during the season we'll have our FanDuel and like DraftKings like plays, I guess. We probably won't go that deep into it because we're not professionals or anything, and we don't want to give people terrible advice on there. But we'll probably go over like the obvious plays on it, so that way you guys know who most people are going to play. And in tournaments, you will probably want to pivot off of those players, or in cash games, you will play those players. But we'll go over that stuff later. But for now, we're going to dive into the AFC West and talk about that for a little bit. So we're going to start with the Broncos. Their quarterback situation's kind of murky with Lynch and Siemian. You have any thoughts on that, Nathan?
I definitely think Siemian's going to start out the year. Paxton Lynch is probably going to be their guy they're going to shoot to later on. Siemian's only played 14 games. Paxton Lynch has played 3 total games, I believe. Trevor Siemian seemed to look good every once in a while. Got hurt at the end of the year. He threw 59.5 completion, 3,400 yards, 18 touchdowns, and 10 interceptions. Did decent fantasy-wise, 191 fantasy points for those 14 games. It's not great, but yeah, I think they're going to definitely start Trevor Siemian over Paxton Lynch right now.
Yeah, I agree with you. Looking over those numbers from last year, I think Paxton Lynch was like 1 for 15 or 1 for 14 with passes over 20 yards. It really doesn't. I mean, he's probably got more. He probably just he's just thrown out there after Siemian got hurt, and he could be good. I mean, he was a first-round pick, and the Broncos moved up to get him, so he could be good. But for fantasy purposes, I think, especially for Demarius and for Sanders, the team's better off with Siemian starting the year. Hopefully.
Yeah, he's just looking better as far as he went 8-6, not terrible. I think the Broncos kind of steered away from. They're kind of wanting to have a quarterback that protects the ball a little more rather than goes deep or tries doing crazy shit right off the start. So I think they're going more conservative than they are because their defense is going to carry them through the season.
Yeah, Trevor Siemian's definitely a safe bet to start the season, I would guess.
Just because Paxton is an unknown right now.
Yeah.
Still.
Yeah. As far as wide receivers go, how do you feel about how do you feel about Demarius and Sanders this year? I think Demarius's ADP is about the beginning to mid 3rd round, and Sanders is going like later in like the 5th.
Yeah, there's only 1 fantasy point separating them from last year. Their picks, I'd rather go with Sanders right now at his current ADP. Just because I feel like he's going to see close to the same amount of targets as him, as Demarius. But I think Demarius will end up getting more touchdowns than Emmanuel.
Yeah, looking at their stats from last year, they're almost identical. They had the same amount of red zone targets. Demarius had 11 more catches, but the receiving yards were almost the same. I think they even had the same. They have the same amount of touchdowns last year.
Demarius had 6. I'm not quite sure on Emmanuel Sanders. Yeah, I have Emmanuel Sanders ranked as wide receiver.
Sanders had 5.
35 is what I got. Emmanuel
as far
Sanders
as ADP.
No, just wide receiver.
Oh, you haven't ranked.
And then I have Demarius Thomas at 17. So
yeah,
their value is I'd rather go with Emmanuel Sanders later than Demaryius Thomas early.
Yeah, I don't think I would touch Demaryius that early, especially. I think I'd rather, for in the PPR, I would definitely rather go Jarvis Landry or Doug Baldwin even. But yeah, let's move on to running back.
Another shit show, really.
Yeah, CJ Anderson, Devontae Booker, addition of Jamaal Charles. It's a mess back there.
Yeah, I'm a little scared touching that right now. Jamaal Charles, everyone was predicting that. Well, a lot of people were predicting that he wasn't even going to make the team, but it's Jamaal Charles. He's going to make the team, and he's going to still touches away from CJ Anderson. There's no doubt about it. I don't think Devontae Booker, besides being maybe a third down kind of back, catch passes out of the backfield and stuff like that. I think that's going to be more his role. And then I think
Jamaal Charles's role or Booker's role?
I think Booker really. But
yeah, you don't think Jamaal Charles is going to take that third down back role?
He definitely could away from Booker. That's what he's always done, is caught passes really well out of the backfield with Alex Smith. But I think Charles is going to take touches away from Anderson. Even I don't think it'll happen right away. I think it'll happen partway through the season. So I'm a little scared. I have him in our keeper league that we have, Anderson, but he's in the first round, so I'm not going to keep him.
Yeah. What's Anderson's ADP right now?
I got him at 55, but that was a few weeks ago too, so I don't know exactly what it is right now. I'll look it up.
Receivers.
Should have it over.
CJ Anderson's going 54 according to.
Yeah. So I had him at 55, but
ESPN.
Pretty close.
Yeah, I wouldn't touch him. What is that, like the 6th round?
Yeah. Well,
it's 12 teamer.
Yeah, fourth round in the.
Oh yeah, that's into the 4th.
And
I wouldn't touch him there.
At 92 and Booker at 163. So Booker's just kind of like a shot in the dark for people.
Yeah, I would definitely rather just take a shot on Charles, like winning that. Like Jamaal Charles still, he's got to have something left in the tank, right? He's still averaged like 5.5 yards.
Yeah.
It's still, especially with that. I think they'll probably use him sparingly, but if he can still maintain that average, he should pay off. Was he getting drafted in the 10th round right now? I mean, I would definitely take that risk in the 10th round all day.
You could possibly get a starter out of it, and both of them have. Anderson's injury prone, and if he gets hurt, I think they're going to go with Charles. They won't go with Booker again.
All right. So yeah, we're just going to go skill positions. We're not going to talk about defenses for now because we need to see like how new players adjust to schemes and whatnot. So we'll do a whole show on defenses later. Let's move on to the Chargers.
Los Angeles Chargers, by the way.
Los Angeles Chargers. Yeah, when I wrote this, I started writing San Diego Chargers, and I was like, oh god, they're in LA now. So yeah, that's. How do you feel about Phillip Rivers this year?
I'm pretty high on him, really. Got a lot more targets. Well, he's got Allen back healthy. And Allen and him have always had a connection some way. Got a lot of receiving yards out of him, or receptions out of him. And then he has still Tyrell Williams, Benjamin, and then Mike Williams is gonna start I think either way. He's 6'4", big guy. I think Phillip Rivers has always liked bigger guys too. I think even with Allen and Williams on the field, Mike Williams, that is, I think both of them will be effective in fantasy. I think Chargers are going to pass a little more. The only thing is how long can Keenan Allen stay healthy if
Yeah.
he's going to make it the whole year?
What? Where would you draft Allen? Like, he gets hurt all the time. Like, where are you willing to take a risk on him? Because right now his ADP is late second, early third, and I am not willing to take him there.
No, I would, if I'm really late third, depending on who's aboard, I would take him. I would take him in the fourth, though. I would take
Yeah.
in the fourth because
Yeah.
he could get you. He could be a wide receiver one really in PPR if he stays healthy the whole year.
Yeah, if he stays healthy, he could be a monster in PPR. But
yeah, because what was he that 1 year he played the 9 games? He
was on pace for like 140 catches or something.
Yeah,
something dumb.
He was gonna shatter the record.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I will probably take a risk on him in a few leagues, especially if he starts to slide at all. I will definitely grab him, but I am not going to build multiple teams on him.
Yeah, and are you willing to take Mike Williams in the 9th, I think it is? Or 10th. It's the 10th.
He's 9th. Going in the 10th, yeah.
9th, 10th.
Depending on my team's makeup. But usually by the time I get to the 10th and 11th, though, I need a quarterback and I need a tight end because I always wait on quarterback and tight end. So I usually miss out on those guys. But if I need a receiver at that point, I would definitely take a flyer on Mike Williams.
Because they picked him number 1 as their first pick.
Yeah.
He's gonna play. There's not too much doubt in my mind he's gonna get starting time.
Yeah, it's just the risk with him is Travis Benjamin's still there, Inman's still there, Gates and Henry are there. Like there's a lot of mouths to feed in that offense, and
because right now I have Tyrell Williams going the pick before Mike Williams overall average. Mm-hmm. So there's 2 Los Angeles Chargers going in the same round back to back pretty much. Yeah. I would definitely try and get Mike. He looks like a freak. So I don't know. But there's just, for me, there's in the 10th round, I'm more than willing to risk it and take it and pick him. And do you think if Allen gets hurt, Mike Williams is going to be the next big guy there? Or are they trying to move to Mike Williams and get rid of Keenan Allen?
Yeah, I would, if Keenan Allen gets hurt again, I think that's why they drafted Mike Williams, is to basically replace him as number 1.
Yeah.
Benjamin and Inman are just complementary pieces. They don't have much going for him. I mean, Benjamin's all right, but I don't really see him being a number 1, you know? And with Woodhead gone, do you think Melvin Gordon's gonna catch more passes this year, or?
I want to say he's gonna be a 3-down back. I mean, they got Farrell and Hillman. He's gonna be the 3-down back, pretty much.
So Hillman's still there?
I think he is. I'm not quite sure. I had him down as he was still there.
When I wrote the write-up, I thought he was still there, but I don't see him on the roster anymore. I think I see Farrell and Oliver, Brandon Oliver.
Oh yeah.
And what's his Kenyon Barner from the Eagles.
Yeah.
He's there now.
Melvin Gordon doesn't scare you at all with his 3.9 yards per carry last year.
I personally do not like Melvin Gordon. I don't, in the PPR at least. I am still
skeptical,
scared off of. Like I think last year might have been a fluke. Personally, he's gonna get all the work. But but his first year he didn't score a single touchdown, and last year he's probably gonna settle in the middle and score maybe 6 touchdowns this year. I'd figure, and I'm not willing to take that late first round on a guy who's just going to score 6 touchdowns, you know?
Yeah, you aren't expecting him in the double digits. He scored 12 touchdowns last year.
Yeah.
So
I wouldn't be. I'm not unless he picks up all of the slack or all the targets from the running back position. He would make value in the first round, but I'm not that sure if he's that well-rounded of a player. So I mean, we'll see.
And San Diego did pick up 3 linemen in the draft.
Yeah,
offensive linemen. So I'm not.
Yeah.
I think they're either protecting Phillip Rivers or, I mean, they use a second and third round to pick up a lineman. So I think it could help both Melvin Gordon and Phillip Rivers, but there's no guarantee on that.
We'll have to see how that offensive line meshes together and all that stuff. See how it goes. But for now, I am not touching Melvin Gordon in the first round. If he's there in the mid-second, I'd take him. As long as I didn't draft a quarterback or a running back in the first round. But
see, and I would still take him fifth. I probably wouldn't take him. Nah, I would take him 8th overall.
Yeah, you would.
Yeah.
Over McCoy.
No, I would take McCoy before him. But I think San Diego's going to be a pretty decent team.
Yeah, they should be good. What scares me about Melvin Gordon is you have to go up against the Chiefs defense, you have to go up against the Broncos defense, and the Raiders defense is looking better. That's 6 games of just really solid defenses.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. I'm still pretty high on him. I guess it's just wishful thinking, but I like him.
Yeah.
And that's everyone's scared of the 3.9 yards per carry last year, and they all said anyone that's done that afterward or done a 3.9 yard carry per game or per carry have not done good the next year after that. So there's a bunch of skeptics out there. I'm hoping he's going to do good. I'm willing to take the risk on him.
I mean, he should be the 3-down back. He should have all the touches to himself. I can't imagine them trying to use Oliver and Farrow and Barner that much.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let's move on to
Gates and Henry.
Yeah, Gates and Henry. How do you feel about? Do you think Henry takes over this year, or do you think Gates holds on?
No, I think they're going to give the record to Gates and then move on pretty much, and Henry's going to. Well, I think Gates is going to get the record. I think he needs 3 more touchdowns, if I'm not mistaken.
What was that?
I think Gates needs 3 more touchdowns to get the most touchdowns by a tight end.
Oh yeah.
Did
he not get that last year? I can't remember. I remember there was talk about it.
He was close, and I think it is 3 touchdowns. I think he's going to get it. And Henry looked good last year. Yeah, right now he's going 98 overall ADP. I think Henry's going to end up taking the starting job. I don't think it'll be right away, but I think it's going to be a little later on.
I like Henry this year. I think he'll do well. You're
taking him as a tight end later in the rounds.
I'm targeting. I think my favorite tight ends to target late are Henry and Hooper from Atlanta.
Yeah,
those are my favorite tight ends to target right now. I also like Ebron, but we'll talk about that later on the NFC North podcast or video. Are you even going to touch Gates this year, or are you just going to let it go?
I'm letting him go. I can't see keeping him.
Yeah, that's probably for the best. Anything else for the Chargers? Did I miss anything?
I know they used a lot of draft picks this year and picked up a lot of people.
Yeah, their offensive line is going to look a lot different than it did last year.
Yeah, and they had a lot of injuries on the line last year, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. Their entire team was beat up last year. Allen was out,
Yeah.
Woodhead was out. That was just a bloodbath for Chargers. But hopefully they'll stay. If they stay healthy, the AFC West is going to be one of the toughest divisions.
Oh,
AFC West and AFC South are going to be
you can
insanely tough.
consider all these teams we're talking about today all
Oh
contenders.
yeah,
All of them.
definitely. I'd say, as weird as it sounds, the Broncos are probably the weakest just because of their quarterback situation.
Yeah. I agree with that. Yeah. We'll get on to the Raiders and Kansas City in a little bit, but San Diego, I like San Diego. I think it's going to be a high output offense if Phillip Rivers could keep his interceptions down.
Yeah. I mean, how many did he throw last year? 21 interceptions? I mean,
yeah. And I think most of them came later on in the season, but
yeah. I mean, I feel like he'll keep him down. I mean,
how do you feel
he
about
didn't.
Rivers? I don't think you've really said. I could see him throwing 4,500 plus this year pretty
Oh
easily.
yeah, I enjoy Rivers is probably one of my favorite quarterbacks to target in drafts because no one ever drafts him. Like he's always sitting there in the ninth, 10th round, just waiting
Yeah.
to be drafted. And I think last year he averaged 21 points, fantasy points a game, and Aaron Rodgers averaged like 24 or something.
Yeah.
So it's like
And to get Aaron Rodgers, you're picking him in the third right now or fourth, but
fourth, yeah.
yeah.
But it's Phillip Rivers is one of my favorite quarterbacks to target in drafts, and I don't see that changing this year. He'll be on a healthy amount of my teams. Um, yeah, let's move on to the what?
Got any news
Go on.
about San Diego? Any big changes in San Diego?
Um,
Well, LA now. I'm
yeah.
gonna keep doing that just because I'm so used to calling them San Diego. But
yeah. I mean, their offensive line is going to be totally different. They drafted Lamp and Feeney in the draft in the second and third rounds, and they signed Okung from
oh yeah,
Okung played. Um, they signed Okung, and the entire offensive line is going to be totally different. It's going to be it should be better. It'll make the entire offense better. But I don't see there's so like if Allen stays healthy, if the Williams stay healthy, Gates and Henry, I just don't see there being enough touchdowns for Melvin Gordon to make a first round value. That's just my opinion.
yeah.
But
I definitely see it.
yeah, so let's move on to the Chiefs. Alex Smith, the quarterback, it's very boring. I think he had like one of the least amount of targets past 20 yards last season. I think the only one who had less was Sam Bradford. Um, how do you feel about Alex Smith with Conley and Hill and Kelsey?
Yeah, they got rid of Macklin, which was a deep threat, but granted, never got thrown deep because Alex Smith was there. But
Yeah.
I don't see any fantasy relevance besides in a 2-quarterback league. That's the only time you're pretty much gonna draft him.
Yeah. How do you feel about Tyreek Hill? Like, I feel like Tyreek Hill isn't big enough to be like a possession receiver, and he's going to be reliant on deep balls, which is how he became fantasy relevant last year. But like Alex Smith doesn't. That's not Alex Smith's game, you know. And I don't see. I don't see him being a possession receiver. And right now he's going in the 4th round of drafts, and I just cannot see myself picking him there, especially in a PPR. And which is exclusively what I just play PPR.
I could see him. I would pick him up in the late 5th, 6th round. I can't. I would. There's just so many good players out there in the 4th still that you could pick up. He's ranked 20 overall, wide receiver, or 20 wide receiver, and then I see him 43rd in the draft pick. So that's 3rd round, late 3rd. At that point, I'd rather risk Allen than Tyreek Hill, but there's still
yeah, me too. I definitely would. Yeah.
But
do you like Kelsey this year? Would you spend a 3rd round pick on Kelsey this year?
I wouldn't, just because I don't draft tight ends that early. But
yeah,
he's gonna be their number one target, target in the end zone, everything. I think he's gonna have a great season. I really do.
Up enough space just as like the number one target for Hill to go deep, or do you think with the departure of Macklin that Hill's just not going to have any opportunity? Like they're just going to lock down Hill and just make him go to Kelsey every time?
Yeah, I do. I think you're gonna have Travis Kelsey getting most of the targets. Tyreek Hill is a running threat too. They tried using him in that form, and I could still seeing them using him in that form. And yeah, I just can't see taking Tyreek Hill that early. I mean, there's people that have been more reliant than Tyreek. Well, we've only gotten one season out of him, I believe, right? Just one season, Tyreek Hill.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it goes this year. But this year, I'm not. That's way too much of a premium to be paying on him. Yeah. Let's move on to running back. I am not touching Spencer Ware this year. He's going way too early for me. He wore down at the end of last season. He couldn't do the whole bell cow running back thing. He wore down. I really like Kareem Hunt. I think Hunt takes over the starting job at some point. If not, is at least worked into the rotation immediately.
Yeah. See, I have him same thing, taking away the starting job.
Yeah.
From Ware. Because when they drafted him
3rd round, I think.
Yeah. So
yeah, 3rd round.
I could see him getting a good chunk of yardage. Even not playing the first 3 games probably, or starting the first games. I think he's gonna get plugged in every now and then at the start.
If Spencer Ware were to slide into like the 5th round, I would definitely draft Spencer Ware and then follow him up with Kareem Hunt in the 7th, like immediately, just back to back and lock down.
Yeah.
Because Andy Reid exclusively plays one running back in the backfield. Like he's done that since.
Yeah.
On the Eagles, like he just plays one running back. That's all he does forever and ever and ever.
I do have. There was some rumor that I heard going around. I read it. Tyreek Hill hits his pregnant girlfriend. Have you heard that one?
No.
So
I haven't heard that yet.
I don't know if there's any investigation or anything, but I thought it was pretty funny. Well, not funny, but interesting that rumor was going around. But I don't think they're gonna follow up on it or anything.
Yeah, so definitely something to follow, I guess. I haven't heard that though. No.
And Kelsey, do you have? I have him as tight end number. I think he's gonna be tight end number 1 this year. I really do.
Over Cronk.
Yeah, I think he's gonna be better than Gronk, or get more touches over Gronk. I would rather have Kelsey than Gronk this year.
It's interesting. I if I knew Gronk was going to stay healthy all year, I'd like for sure take Gronk
yeah.
over him. But that's I'm not going to take either of them unless I get like
Yeah.
a
Great
wild
value
hair
for
and
him.
just unless they fall, I'm not going to take them. But yeah. Let's move on to anything else on the Chiefs.
I know they got rid of their GM.
I got rid of their GM. Shouldn't really impact the
fantasy
field.
world.
Yeah, let's move on to the Raiders. Carr got that huge contract. He's going to be there. Do you think he will pay off that huge salary, or do you think it's just going to be
bust?
Yeah.
No, I do think he's going to play well for him. He still has Cooper and Crabtree. Cordell Patterson, I don't think he's going to be effective as far as a wide receiver. Seth Robertson and him hooked up a lot in the end zone last year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. How do you feel about Crabtree? He's going in mid-second round right now, and he's not the primary focus in the red zone, like at all. Like Seth Roberts gets more targets than him in the red zone.
Yeah, and more consistent getting touchdowns. I think Seth Roberts was some ridiculous number, like 8 for 12 or something in the end zone targets. I think he got 12 targets in the end zone and got 8 touchdowns in them, or in the red zone.
I have it here. He had 12 catches in the red zone and 6 of them were touchdowns. So half of his catches in the red zone were touchdowns.
Pretty ridiculous.
It's pretty crazy. He had 28 total targets. Meanwhile, let's see, where is Crabtree had 21.
For me, Crabtree and Cooper played he's a very athletic person and plays very well. But same thing, have Crabtree over Cooper for the value as of now.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like that way a lot about those second round receivers. Yeah. Like I think I'd rather have Moncrief than Hilton for the value. I would rather have Crabtree over Cooper for the value. Let's see who else is there. Because Sanders over Thomas.
Yeah, Hilton's going second round. Moncrief's going like 8th,
7th, 8th. Yeah.
Yeah.
6th. Okay.
So that's.
Yeah, Moncrief's going in like the 6th.
For the value right now, I would rather have Crabtree. I think Cooper's going to have a little better year than Crabtree is, but strictly value-wise and as of now, ADP, I would rather have Crabtree.
Yeah, I agree with that. Let's see. Another thing with Cooper is I think there's going to be even less red zone targets to go around with the addition of Lynch. I think they're going to run the ball with Lynch a lot in the red zone. I think there's going to be a lot less targets of it. Like last year, their running game wasn't up to snuff.
And so you're pretty high on Lynch. You think he's going to get a lot of touches? Go beast mode this year?
Yeah, I'm not crazy high on him. I think he might break down at some point. I mean, it took a whole year off. I mean, that might be good. It might be bad. It might be. I doubt he's rusty. He's Marshawn Lynch, but he's old. We'll see how it goes. But I think they'll probably take it easy on him, save him for playoffs. But I still think when they get down to the red zone, they're just going to pound it with Marshawn Lynch. I don't think they're going to take very many chances, especially after what Carr said about the whole taking a jab at the Seahawks about the 1 yard line thing.
There's no other running back that you'd like on. It's pretty much just
Richard's interesting. They'll probably use him and Washington for third downs because I don't really see them throwing the Lynch out of the backfield,
Yeah.
Um,
and this is probably the best line Lynch has ran behind his whole.
Yeah, there were some good Seahawks lines up there for a little bit, but then they got stupid and started trading linemen away for like Jimmy Graham and stuff. But yeah, it's a really good line. It's a really good offense. I definitely draft him in the third round. Like if he's there in the third, I'm not gonna. And I need a running back. I won't hesitate to pick him.
Yeah. You wouldn't take him in the second though, early second, like pick. I guess
early second. No, I wouldn't take him in the early second. I would rather have Ajayi.
You'd go wide receiver rather than running back. Early second.
Early second. DeMarco Murray there. I'd probably take Murray over Ajayi, Howard. Howard and Lynch is pretty close for me. I'm not sure which one I'd take. Definitely over Gurley.
Yeah. That's
probably over Fournette too.
Yeah. See, I don't know if I'm going to touch Lynch. I'm a little scared of him. I don't know why. I don't know if it's just me not liking the Seahawks for a little while, but
there's classic biases.
There's just a little doubt in my mind that he's going to come back and be the guy he was, taking a whole year off. But it is Marshall Lynch, and I know
exactly.
I know he is a hell of a running. So there is that.
How about they signed Jared Cook at tight end. Jared Cook is like, I'm never gonna draft him. Especially just he's like one of those guys. He's like a older Eric Ebron where there's huge physical freaks, but they just don't do anything on the field. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna touch him. Do you have any interest in him? Because he's gonna go. He's gonna be a late round tight end. He'll be 11th, 12th, 10th round.
I don't. I'd rather go. Shit. I'd rather go like. Who's going late round right now?
You probably just go Henry Hooper, all those guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd do the same. Yeah, so that pretty much wraps up our AFC West breakdown. We're gonna go into depth. Look, training camps haven't even started or anything, so we're just gonna do like a brief one for each division, and probably come out with a couple videos a week here and there. There won't be any like time frame or anything, but we'll start getting it more heavily into like draft strategies later on. Yeah, you got anything you want to say, Nathan, before you sign off?
No. This is pretty much the end of the live show.
Yep. I think we'll do another one probably this weekend sometime, maybe even sooner. But we'll do the NFC West next, and then we'll do the South divisions after that. And I still need the write-ups for the other ones before we do those ones. So, but yeah, we'll do the NFC West this week. Thanks for watching, guys, and hopefully this will help you guys out. All right. Thanks.
Catch you guys